I am sure that... Well, put it this way. I'm hopeful.
Of course, but job-wise, you realise that will set her back as well. In Britain, up to a half of women who return to work after having children report that they have had to accept work below their qualifications and experience.
OK, so what is the solution? A sex change operation?
That sounds a bit drastic. And I imagine she actually kind of prefers being a woman anyway. So how about a society change operation?
Meaning? I thought so. The heavy hand of the government.
Well, not just the government. The private sector is just as important. In Britain, one idea is for a number of big companies to act as leaders and examples for industry as a whole. The unions have a big role to play too. In the past, some male-dominated unions have thought of pay equity as a threat to their male members. But that is changing. And unions are now working with employers to bring about greater pay and employment equity.
About time too.
Well, the thing is, it's not just about governments, big companies and unions. The gap isn't some kind of conspiracy theory. It's about attitudes in society. And that's a matter which ordinary people like you and me can help change. I mean, ordinary people like me and opinion leaders like your good self.
So, what could I do?
Well, you could do a pay and employment equity review of your own business, for instance.
OK. To find out why the men are all clerical 2As and the women are all clerical 2Bs.
Exactly.
To be or not to be?
Now that's a good question.
Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous pay disparities,
Now you're getting it.
or to take arms against employment iniquity. There you go. $600 for you, my lad. And $500 for you, my dear. $600 for you. And $500 for you. A heavy worker is a productive worker, I always say.
Can I ask you a question?
Fire away.
How come the women get less than the men?
They don't.
They do.
No.
Yeah?
No.
Yeah?
No.
Well, you're giving all the men $600 and all the women $500.
Ah, I see what you're saying. The men seem to be getting $600 and the women seem to be getting $500.
Well, not seem to be.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, yes. On the face of it, that might look unfair.
Yes, it does.
But appearances can be deceptive. It's actually against the law to pay people who are doing the same job differently just because of their gender.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But they aren't doing the same job, you see. I'm not paying her $500 and him $600 because he's a he and she's a she. I'm paying her $500 because she is office clerical 2B and him $600 because he is office clerical 2A.
But how come all the women have the lower jobs?
It's a statistical anomaly.
But you see, the thing is, it's the same all over the country.
Really?
Yeah, look. This is how much women get paid compared to men. Over the last 20 years...
Do we need to rope up?
I wouldn't bother. It's a pretty gentle slope. The ratio is only increasing at 0.4% a year.
Well, look on the bright side. Eventually you guys will catch up.
Well, at this rate, it'll take us 45 years. Oh, do you have any daughters?
Yes, one. She's 15.
Well, she'll be coming up for retirement.
Well, look, as I say, women don't get paid less because they are women. They get paid less because they do different work.
Work that gets paid less.
Exactly. So, what I'm going to say to my daughter, and thanks for bringing this to my attention, by the way, is don't end up doing one of those low-paid jobs that women get. Study hard and do like I did. Make a success of your life.
Right. It's easier said than done, you know.
Oh, don't I know it. It's taken me a lifetime of hard work.
And you're a bloke.
That has nothing to do with it.
Really? Hey, you want to come for a bit of a climb? A serious climb?
Are you sure we,
This is the mountain your daughter will have to climb. You're not scared, are you?
Oh, no. No.
It starts off pretty gently. Right, here we are in the foothills. Women make up 47% of the workforce.
Well, that's not too bad, is it?
But they make up only 35% of directors of Crown companies.
Well, that's pretty good, really.
And only 32% of MPs. Are you okay? It gets a bit steep from here. Only 17% of directors of small and medium-sized publicly listed companies are women. About the same proportion are university professors or partners in law firms, even though every year more women than men qualify as lawyers.
Look, there may be a few cracks in our system, but at the end of the day, the basic situation is fair. We Kiwis have a strong sense of natural justice, and our society is ultimately based on fairness. Where did this come from?
Oh, the small crack. It's the average pay gap between men and women. Women earn approximately $180 per week less than their male counterparts, or a whopping $400,000 over their working lives.
Fascinating, but could you...
That has a huge impact on their ability to save, their retirement income, and the well-being of their families too. If they take unpaid time off work to look after the kids, for example, or if they work part-time, the gap widens even further. Shall we continue?
Is this the top?
Nearly. Here we go. Only 7% of the directors of major New Zealand companies are women.
But, maybe men are just more temperamentally suited to being the boss of them. Big corporations. Maybe it takes that touch of masculine boldness and, chutzpah. What were we talking about?
Boldness and chutzpah.
Ah, yes. You see, these big companies know what they're doing. They will appoint the best person for the job regardless of gender, because that person will make the most money for the shareholders, right? And that happens to be a person of the male gender.
Interestingly enough, though, surveys in the US show that companies with more women in senior management tend to outperform ones with fewer women.
Well, surely that's subjective.
Well, actually, no. Return on equity is 35% higher between the companies with the most women in senior management and the ones with the least. And total return to shareholders is 34% higher.
That is interesting. But, you know, if it's better business to promote women, eventually the companies that have more women at the top will win. You just have to let the market work its magic.
Maybe. But in the meantime, we all suffer.
Well, you mean you all suffer?
No, everyone. In the UK, studies have shown that the cost to the country of women not doing work they could be doing is about £23 billion a year.
No! Billions of dollars? How does this happen?
Well, there are quite a few reasons, actually.
Such as?
Number one, men and women tend to do different kinds of work, and the jobs women mostly do are paid less. Number two, women don't get promoted as much as men. Number three, women spend more time looking after children and old people, and they get penalised for doing so.
Yeah, well. Yeah. This is like some kind of feminist manifesto.
You reckon? OK, let's take them one by one. Tell me about your daughter. She's 15. What does she want to do when she leaves school?
Well, she's a lovely girl, very